You are standing in the middle of your living room, but you are not relaxing. Your eyes are scanning the perimeter like a high-precision laser. You see it, a single coffee mug left on the coaster. A cushion that is tilted at a 45-degree angle instead of sitting flush against the sofa back. To anyone else, this is a home. To you, it is a crime scene. Your heart rate is climbing. Your palms are starting to sweat. This is not about being a neat freak. This is not about having high standards. This is a biological hijacking. You are currently a prisoner of your own visual cortex. We are going to open up your skull and look at the wiring that makes a stray sock feel like a personal assault. You think you are in control because everything is in its place. The truth is, you are the only thing in this room that is truly broken. Your need for order is a desperate, white-knuckled scream for safety in a world that you deeply, fundamentally distrust. You are not cleaning your house. You are trying to sterilize your soul. Look at the way you move. Every action is calculated. Every object has a coordinate. When someone enters your space and moves a book or leaves a crumb, you feel a surge of genuine, visceral rage. Why? Because that crumb represents the invasion of chaos. It represents the fact that you cannot control the external world. Scientists at the Princeton University Neuroscience Institute have identified this as a failure of the top-down attentional filter. Most people can look at a cluttered desk and their brain simply ignores the noise, but your brain lacks that diplomatic immunity. Your neurons are firing at full capacity for every misplaced item. You are experiencing visual static that paralyzes your executive function. You are not being productive. You are being overstimulated by the mundane. You are living in a state of hypervigilance, a survival mechanism designed for the jungle, now wasted on the arrangement of your spice rack. You are a predator with no prey, so you have turned your aggression inward, toward the dust bunnies under your bed. Let us trace the incision deeper into your past. This pathology did not appear out of thin air. It was forged in the furnace of an unpredictable childhood. Think back to the house you grew up in. Was it a place of warmth, or was it a minefield? Many of you who suffer from this obsession were raised by what we call the volatile architect, a parent whose mood was a coin flip. One minute they were calm, the next they were a hurricane of screaming and blame. In that environment, you learned a deadly lesson. You learned that if you could keep the house perfectly quiet, if you could keep every toy in its box and every dish out of the sink, you might avoid the explosion. Order became your only shield. Cleanliness became your only currency to buy a few minutes of peace. You are now 30 or 40 years old, but inside, you are still that terrified 8-year-old boy or girl, frantically cleaning the kitchen so that daddy doesn't start drinking or mummy doesn't start crying. Your house is not a home, it is a bunker, and you are still waiting for a bomb that fell 2 decades ago. This is what we call the frozen survival response. Your nervous system is stuck in a loop. You believe that if the surface is smooth, the depths are safe, but the depths are never safe. Life is fundamentally wet, loud, and unpredictable. By demanding a sterile environment, you are trying to edit out the very essence of being alive. You are trying to live in a photograph instead of a reality. This leads to a profound sense of isolation. You stop inviting people over because people are messy. People have skin cells and hair and opinions that do not fit into your organized drawers. You are slowly building a wall of bleach and Windex between yourself and the rest of humanity. You think you are protecting your peace. In reality, you are perfecting your loneliness. You have created a museum of your own anxiety, and you are the only visitor allowed inside. Now, let us examine how the world exploits this fracture in your psyche. We live in the era of the curated void. You open your phone and you see the minimalist aesthetic, the influencers with their empty white rooms, their 3 pieces of high-end furniture, and their lack of any visible personality. They tell you that this is Zen. They tell you that this is the path to high performance and clarity. This is a lie. This is a social status game designed to weaponize your insecurity. In the modern world, a messy house is a sign of being overwhelmed, of being part of the lower class who has no time to curate their existence. A sterile house is the ultimate sign of wealth. It says, "I have so much money and so much help that I can afford to live in a space that shows no sign of human occupancy." You have been sold a bill of goods that equates empty space with a full life. You are chasing a ghost. You are buying organizational bins and labeling machines because you believe that if you can just get the pantry right, the rest of your life will fall into place. But have you noticed that the feeling of satisfaction only lasts for 5 minutes? As soon as you finish one closet, you find another one that is failing your standards. This is the dopamine trap of the control freak. Your brain gives you a small hit of reward for a completed task, but it never gives you the peace you are actually looking for. You are a hamster on a very clean, very organized wheel. You are trying to solve a spiritual problem with a physical solution. No amount of vacuuming will ever suck up the underlying fear that you are not enough. No amount of white paint will ever cover the stains of your own self-doubt. You are being exploited by a consumer culture that wants you to believe that your worth is measured by the square footage of your empty surfaces. Let us look at the science of the biological betrayal. When you live in a state of constant environmental monitoring, your body is flooded with cortisol and adrenaline. This is the stress response. Chronic elevation of these hormones leads to systemic inflammation, weakened immune function, and a literal shrinking of the hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for memory and emotional regulation. By obsessing over the small mess, you are creating a massive biological mess inside your own arteries. Your blood pressure is the price you pay for a tidy bookshelf. Your inability to sleep is the interest you pay on your obsession with the laundry. You are trading your years of life for a temporary illusion of order. Furthermore, we must talk about the phenomenon of cognitive tunneling. When you focus intensely on the crooked frame or the dirty window, your brain loses its ability to see the big picture. You are looking at the trees and completely missing the fact that the forest is on fire. This is why people with this obsession often struggle in their careers or their creative lives. They are so busy managing the minutiae that they have no bandwidth left for the grand strategy. They are perfect at filing papers, but terrible at writing the book. They are masters of the calendar, but slaves to the clock. You are suffocating your own genius under a pile of cleaning supplies. Your brain was designed to solve complex problems, to create art, to love deeply. It was not designed to be a full-time janitor for a collection of inanimate objects. Every minute you spend obsessing over a stain is a minute you have stolen from your own legacy. The solution is not a new cleaning hack. The solution is a surgical removal of your ego. We turn to the Stoic masters, who understood that the only thing we truly possess is our internal character. Epictetus taught us that it is not things that disturb us, but our judgment about things. A mess is just a collection of matter in a specific configuration. It has no moral value. It is not bad. It is not good. It just is. Your suffering comes from the story you tell yourself about the mess. You tell yourself that a mess means you are lazy. You tell yourself that a mess means your life is falling apart. These are fictions. These are the whispers of your trauma. To heal, you must learn to practice Amor Fati, the love of fate. This includes the love of the broken glass, the love of the mud on the floor, and the love of the chaos that is inherent in the universe. I am prescribing you a dose of intentional entropy. We are going to conduct a psychological experiment on your own life. It is called the exposure and response prevention technique. For the next 24 hours, I want you to pick one room in your house and intentionally make it a disaster. Throw the pillows on the floor, leave the mail on the counter, spill some salt, and do not wipe it up. Then, I want you to sit in the middle of that room, close your eyes, feel the panic, feel the screaming in your nerves. Do not move, do not reach for the broom, just breathe. You will notice that the ceiling does not collapse. You will notice that the sun still rises. You will notice that you are still alive. You are breaking the Pavlovian link between order and safety. You are teaching your lizard brain that it can survive a mess. This is the only way to reclaim your freedom. You must prove to yourself that you are stronger than a dust bunny. We must go deeper into the concept of the sanitized life. When you eliminate all friction, you also eliminate all growth. Think about a muscle. A muscle only grows when it is torn, when it is stressed, when it is subjected to the messiness of physical exertion. Your soul is no different. By living in a perfectly controlled environment, you are allowing your emotional muscles to atrophy. You are becoming brittle. You are like a piece of glass that looks perfect until it is tapped, and then it shatters into 1,000 pieces. A person who can tolerate a mess is a person who can tolerate a crisis. A person who can live with a dirty kitchen is a person who can survive a heartbreak. Resilience is found in the dirt, not in the bleach. You need to get comfortable with the grime of existence if you want to be more than a decorative object in your own life. Think about the most important moments of your life. Were they clean? Was your birth clean? Was the first time you fell in love clean? Was the last time you laughed until you cried clean? No. Life at its highest intensity is always messy. It involves sweat and tears and spilled drinks and tangled hair. When you fight against the mess, you are fighting against the peaks of the human experience. You are choosing a lukewarm, grey existence over a vibrant, multicolored one. You are so afraid of the shadow that you have turned off all the lights. I am telling you to turn them back on. I am telling you to let the light hit the dust and see it for what it is. Just tiny particles of the universe dancing in the air. It is not dirt, it is stardust, and you are a part of it. You have been using order as a drug. It is a sedative that numbs the pain of your existence. But like all drugs, you need more and more of it to get the same effect. 10 years ago, a little clutter didn't bother you. Now, a single fingerprint on the stainless steel sends you into a spiral. You are chasing a high that is moving further and further away. It is time to go through withdrawal. It is time to face the raw, unedited reality of your life. Who are you when the house is dirty? If your identity is tied to your ability to keep a clean home, then you don't have an identity, you have a job description. You are a human being, not a maintenance worker. You have a soul that is ancient and vast and infinitely complex. Stop trying to fit it into a Tupperware container. The world is not a sterile laboratory, it is a garden. And gardens are full of decay, and bugs, and mud, and growth. You cannot have the flower without the fertilizer. You cannot have the life without the mess. It is time to stop being a surgeon of the surface and start being an explorer of the depths. The next time you feel the urge to clean, I want you to stop. I want you to look at your hands and realize they were made for creating, not just for scrubbing. Use them to write something. Use them to hold someone. Use them to plant something. Divert that energy away from the mundane and toward the magnificent. The clock is ticking on your life. Do you really want your final thought to be that you finally got the baseboards white? Let us conclude with a final epiphany. The universe is governed by the second law of thermodynamics, entropy. Everything is moving from order to disorder. The stars are burning out. The mountains are eroding. The very atoms of your body are eventually going to scatter back into the void. You are fighting a war against the fundamental laws of physics. You are trying to build a sandcastle against an incoming tide. It is a beautiful, tragic, and ultimately futile gesture. True wisdom is found in the surrender, not the surrender of giving up, but the surrender of letting go. When you stop fighting the mess loses its power over you. When you accept the chaos, you become the calm at the center of the storm. You are no longer a leaf being blown by the wind of your own anxiety. You are the wind itself. Take a look at your life one more time. Is it a home or is it a prison? Are you the owner of your things or are they the owners of you? The surgery is over. I have laid out the organs of your obsession for you to see. The choice is yours. You can sew yourself back up and go back to your Windex and your vacuum cleaner, waiting for the next crumb to ruin your day. Or you can leave the wound open. You can let the air in. You can let the light in. You can walk out of your perfectly clean house and into the messy, beautiful, and terrifying world. You can start living instead of just maintaining. The dust will still be there when you get back. But maybe, just maybe, you won't care anymore. Because you will finally be too busy being alive. Class dismissed. I know what you are thinking. You are thinking that I am being harsh. You are thinking that I am being dramatic. But that is just your ego trying to protect itself from the truth. The truth is always harsh when you have spent your whole life running from it. The truth is that you are exhausted. You are tired of being the only one who cares. You are tired of the constant mental weight of the to-do list. You are tired of the feeling that you are never quite finished. I am giving you permission to be finished. I am giving you permission to be imperfect. I am giving you permission to be human. This is the greatest gift you can ever give yourself. It is more valuable than any organizational system or cleaning product ever made. It is the gift of your own presence. Stop looking at the floor. Look up. Look at the people in your life. They don't care about your clean house. They care about you. They want to see your eyes, not the reflection in your windows. They want to hear your laughter, not the sound of the dishwasher. They want to feel your warmth, not the coldness of your perfection. Your obsession with order is a wall that keeps them out. It is time to tear it down. It is time to let the people in, with all their mess and all their noise and all their love, because, at the end of the day, that is all that really matters. The rest is just dust. And the wind will take it eventually. So let it go. Let it all go. And finally, for the first time in your life, just be. You have been a soldier in a war that doesn't exist. You have been fighting a ghost that has no power over you. The battlefield is your living room, and your weapons are cleaning supplies. It is time to sign the peace treaty. It is time to lay down your arms. The world is not your enemy. The chaos is not your enemy. Your own fear is the only enemy you have ever had. And you can defeat it by doing nothing, by standing still, by allowing the world to be exactly as it is. This is the ultimate power. This is the ultimate control. The power to not need control. This is the mark of a truly liberated mind. You are no longer a slave to the visual static. You are the master of your own internal landscape. And it is a beautiful, messy, and infinite place. Enjoy the view. The lab is now silent. The instruments are put away. The lights are dimming. But you are still here, and you are different. You can feel it in your chest. The tightness is a little bit looser. The breath is a little bit deeper. You are ready. Go out there and make a mess. Go out there and live a life that is worth cleaning up. Because a life that leaves no mark is a life that was never truly lived. Be a mark maker. Be a stain maker. Be a human being. The universe is waiting for your contribution, and it doesn't care if you have a dirty sink. It just wants you to be there, truly there, for all of it. Goodbye.